Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to what I hope to be a special insight into the workings of Hollywood. The screenplay, as you probably know, is the heart and the soul of any film, but it tends to be a continual work in progress. And to prove that point, we've chosen excerpts from early drafts of scripts from 3 classic films. I think they might show how much a screenplay might change from inception until the final editing. Let's get started with a scene that was filmed early in the production of that classic, The Godfather. Quiet on the set! Action!
Papa, I know it's not my place to question the Godfather, but I gotta ask. Why did you send Sonny to deal with Penalino?
Why, Mike? As we move into legitimate business, we need to develop Sonny as a businessman, not just a hitman.
Okay, Papa. It's just that this Penalino contract's very important. He distributes a terrific amount of olive oil. You really think Sonny's the man to negotiate this deal?
I agree, it's a very important contract. That's why I gave Sonny an important lesson in negotiating. I told him, make him an offer you cannot refuse. Here he comes now. How did it go?
Great. Oh, Penalino was reluctant at first, but then I remembered what you said. And I made him an offer he couldn't refuse. Ain't that mattress truck we hijacked? I offered it to him for $500.
You what?
What?
Oh yeah, you never seen a guy whip out 5 Tsocanos as fast as Penalino did. That sure was an offer he couldn't refuse.
You idiot. We could have fenced that for 15 grand minimum. That's not the kind of offer Papa meant.
I was just doing what Papa said.
Patience, Michael, patience. Sonny just needs some more instruction in the art of negotiating. Now, Sonny, as we move into the olive oil business, you must, Penalino is a very, very big distributor. And if he might be reluctant to buy our olive oil, we need to say something dramatic that'll persuade him. Something that will make him sit up in his office chair and say, "Yes, sir, Sonny. That's what I meant when I said make him an offer he cannot refuse." Capiche?
I got it, Papa. I'll come back with a big order. But that Penalino won't be sitting comfortable in that fancy office chair.
That's my boy, Sonny. That's my boy. Leave the gun. Take it over.
I'm getting nervous waiting for Sonny to come back.
Waiting is the hardest part, my son. But be of good heart. Sonny will come true for us.
Here he comes now, Papa.
Welcome home, son. Did you get the order?
Oh, yes, sirree. 2 truckloads.
2 whole
truckloads.
Yup. He was reluctant at first, but then I remembered what you said, and I made him an offer he couldn't refuse. And I hit it with him hard. BOGO. He practically flew out of that chair. I thought he was going to kiss my hand.
BOGO.
Yeah, BOGO. I learned it at the supermarket. It sure got Penalino's attention fast.
What is it about this BOGO that frightens people so?
It doesn't frighten you, Papa. It just puts them in a buying mood. It means buy one, you get one free.
You sold 2 truckloads of olive oil and we only get paid for 1?
suppose you could look at it that way.
Mike,
Yes, Papa.
you know the organization chart on the legitimate olive oil business?
Yes, Papa.
Transfer Sonny from sales to security.
Just as soon as Francis Ford Coppola shouted, "Cut!" he turned to the screenwriter Bud Schulberg and said, "You've turned an offer he can't refuse into an offer he can confuse." And cut the scene. Just like that, it was gone. Now our next scene was on the set of On the Waterfront when Marlon Brando confronted his brother, played by Rod Steiger. We find them at the kitchen table.
I said it once, and I'll say it again. If it wasn't for you, I could have been a contender.
Would you stop with that baloney already?
Well, it's true. If it wasn't for you, I could have been a contender.
Stop it. I said stop it and I mean it. You've been going on like this for years.
What are you talking about?
Don't play stupid with me.
I ain't playing.
You got me there. You know what? I believe you. You really are stupid.
Smart or stupid, the fact is, if it wasn't for you, I could have been a contender.
There, you wouldn't said it again. You're driving me insane. You know, last Thanksgiving when everyone was here and they got up around the table and said what they're thankful for, what did you do?
Well,
You know what you did? You pointed at me and said, if it wasn't for him, I could have been a contender.
well, it's true.
Yeah, and how about the high school alumni sports banquet, huh? What happened then? You know what happened? All the guys were there. They got into the microphone and they reminisced about something that happened at the game. When it was your turn, what'd you do?
I said,
Come on out with it, what'd you do at the banquet?
if it wasn't for my brother, I could have been a contender.
Ah, thank God, you show a little remorse. Look, this has been going on long, too long. Before you drive me completely insane with this constant contender nonsense, how about we just talk about it and get it all out in the open?
I think that's a great idea for sure.
Good. Well, listen. When I had you throw that fight, yeah, I had a bet on the other guy. And worse, I took Mom's savings and I put the money on him to win. I couldn't afford to lose that bet. That's why I had you take a dive. And I suppose I deserve the constant punishment you give me all these years with this contender complaining. But brother, even the awful sin of me using Mom's money has to be forgiven someday. Brother, please, let me off the hook.
Wait, what's all this about me taking a dive?
We're talking about your last fight. How can you forget?
I'll never forget my last fight. But I didn't take no dive. He beat the crap out of me. It took my trainer 5 minutes to wake me up.
That was real? I thought you were acting.
I wasn't kidding. I was a lousy fighter. When I hung my gloves up, I wasn't getting the crap kicked out of me like that ever again.
Well, if you ended your career, how can you blame me for not being a contender?
Because if it wasn't for you, I would have been a contender.
You quit boxing on your own and you blame me for ruining your career.
Wait a minute. What's all this about prize fight?
You blame me for not getting a shot at the middleweight title.
This whole time, you thought we were talking about boxing?
Of course!
And I'm the stupid one? Don't bow. This whole time, I've been talking about the township center chili cook-off.
What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, I had a great recipe. I don't know if I would have won, but there was a lot of good cooks there. But I could have been a contender if it wasn't for you.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
I was almost finished cooking, and you convinced me to add 2 tablespoons of turmeric. My chili came out tasting like you know what. I could see the faces on all the people that tasted it. It was awful. It still hurts after all these years. If it wasn't for you,
Oh, brother. My profuse apologies. For all these years, I think I finally understand. If it wasn't for me, you could have been a contender. Had a chili cook-off.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
After the director, Elia Kazan, saw that scene, he turned to the screenwriter, Bud Schulberg, said, "Great concept, but chili's out. 37% of Earth's population hate chili. We might try developing the boxing thing, but I don't think it will work. But who knows? Who knows?" he said. And the phrase, "I could have been a contender," has become part of our folklore. Our next scene was supposed to be the ending of Casablanca. It told a story different than the one we've come to know and love.
I love you, Rick.
Easy, Elsa. Well, your husband Victor will overhear us.
Don't worry about Victor. He's just 6 months out of Czechoslovakia. His English comprehension stinks, and he also has a hearing problem.
The plane is jinxed and it has a steering problem.
Don't worry about it, Victor. See what I mean? He's driving me nuts.
But you have to go with your husband, Elsa. It's the only chance he has to get away from the Nazis.
But we just rediscovered each other, and you are my passion that will not fade.
The news is flashing with a Nazi raid?
Will you shut up, Victor? Ricky, I don't want to go on with this boring trip of a husband. You do things that turn me on. I love it when you tell your pianist, "Play it again, Sam."
Contrary to popular opinion, I never did say play it again, Sam.
No kidding. Well, you could have fooled me. But you did always say, "We'll always have Paris."
I love Chuck Berry's sitcom show. It's just
Victor! Victor! Go check the luggage.
But Victor will be killed if he remains here.
So let's put him on the plane and I stay here.
Yeah. After all, he is a resistance fighter and should be able to look after himself.
No, I didn't find any book on the shelf.
Victor! That's the last straw. I can't take your hearing issues anymore. Get on the plane. I'll join you soon.
He's actually leaving. Now I can say it from the heart without eavesdropping around. He's looking at you, kid.
Oh, thank goodness. I have just restored my sanity. Now, may I tell you something personal? And you won't get upset.
Of course. Anything for you, baby. Watch out.
I don't like to be called kid.
Of course not. Never again, kid. I mean, sweetheart.
Okay, then. Ricky, I think this is the beginning. No, correct that. I think this is a continuation of a beautiful friendship.
Director Michael Kazan saw that cut. He said, he turned to the screenwriters and said to Philip and Julius Epstein, I hate happy endings. Write me some bitter sweet. And that is the rest of Hollywood history.
Ken Byrnes.
And our director, Alison Shugars.